Frankenstein has finally hit Netflix. Now, did Guillermo del Toro give us a worthy adaptation of the Mary Shelley classic, or is it another failed attempt at the story? We're gonna talk all about that in the spoiler-free review. And if you end up enjoying the video, make sure you smash that like button. It really does help my channel out. And if you really like it, consider subscribing. All right, let's get into it. So just for a little bit of context, I did end up reading the Frankenstein novel a few months back, not in preparation for this movie, but just because I had a really big interest in the story itself. And then I learned that this was gonna be an actual adaptation of this story. So it got me really excited because you know what? The book was fantastic. But as far as the movie goes, let's talk about the good. In a quick synopsis of the movie Frankenstein, it's about this guy named Victor Frankenstein who becomes obsessed with death and wanting to reanimate someone and give them life. He becomes obsessed with it. He ends up creating this creature, and well, it's not exactly what he thought it was gonna be. Now, the three main leads in Frankenstein are Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein, we have Mia Goth as Elizabeth, and we have Jacob Elordi as the creature. Oscar Isaac does a great job at Frankenstein. He gives us this really obsessed character who he has this goal and he really wants to hit it. And you kind of learn as the movie goes on, he's not the best person. Where you believe at the beginning he has this motivation and you understand it, but as it goes on, he's not that great of a person. And you really kind of start to dislike him as the movie goes on, but that's the point of the character. So he plays this crazy mad scientist at some points, and he also plays this very emotional character in other points. So I think he has a really good range of representing the character of Victor Frankenstein. And Mia Goth as Elizabeth, she has a little bit less to do, and I wish that we got a little bit more of her in this movie. I don't really think that the writing for her character specifically was done that well. I felt like she was kind of really hot and then really cold at some points, and it just kind of flipped a lot. Having said that, she does great. Like, I really can't say anything bad about her performance, just like in everything else that she is in. She's one of the best working actresses today, and if this is the first time you've ever seen her in a movie, go back and check her backlog because she is great. Now, the character that I really wanted to talk to you all about in this review is Jacob Elordi as the creature. I haven't really seen much of his acting skills. I think I saw him in Saltburn, and I think that was about it. But he rocks in this. He plays the creature so well. What I loved about this is the range and everything that Guillermo del Toro asks him to do in this. The story, what the story asks him to do in this. Because at the beginning of the movie, he doesn't know how to talk, right? So everything that he's doing, it's all visual cues. It's how he expresses himself in his eyes, in his face, his body. And seeing that transition go from that character, because that's a certain character, to where he is at the end and how he carries himself and what he's able to do at that point, it's a big change. It's not the same character that we met at the beginning of the movie necessarily. And I just think that that's really impressive to see this guy go from what the movie was asking for him over here to where it ends up asking for him over here and everything in between. So special shout out to Jacob Elordi because I didn't know what to expect and you knocked it out of the park. Frankenstein might end up being in contention of the best looking movie of the entire year. Like, every shot in this movie is gorgeous, whether that's the huge tower where he's actually making the creature, whether it's a ballroom, whether it's a funeral, everything in this, the colors pop when they need to, whether it's bright colors or if it's a very dreary, dark scene, it has that very gothic look to it. So even the dark, scenes look great. And the bright scenes look great. They found this really good contrast to tell this story through the visuals and through the colors to really set the tone. And once you see it, if you have seen it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But once you do see it, things are gonna pop out at you and be like, this is next level. It reminded me a little bit more of Nosferatu. And I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. I ended up liking Nosferatu, but this has that hint of gothic horror with a twist. And it might actually be a little bit more up a lot of other people's alley. If you didn't like Nosferatu, this one might visually be more your thing. And kind of branching off a little bit of how the movie looks visually from a set design point, if you look at the costumes that everybody's wearing, they are top notch. As an example, Mia Goth plays the character named Elizabeth, who's very important to Frankenstein, who's our main character. Her clothes really pop. They're very vibrant. They're very full of life. And that's how Frankenstein views this character. And then you look at the actual creature in Frankenstein, very dark, very dreary, no color whatsoever in whatever he's wearing. And it makes sense because it encompasses what that character actually represents. So I really do think that this movie does a great job of not only having the visuals represent the time period, but also give us visual cues of what these characters mean in this world. Now, before I get into what I didn't like about it, just a reminder, I did read the book, and this is one of my favorite books of all time. I had no idea what I was walking into, ended up loving it. So when I say this, I understand the limitations of making a movie and basing it off of a book. You have that runtime. You have to cut things out. You have to do all of these things, okay? But the third act of this movie felt really off to me. It felt very rushed, where the first half, the movie's broken into parts, right? Part 1 is from Frankenstein's point of view. Part 2 is from the creature's point of view. And then we get everything wrapping up at the end. But the part at the end, the last 30 minutes or so of the movie just felt really rushed, where you spent an obscene amount of time, and I get it, you have to. You spend a lot of time setting up Victor Frankenstein's story, and then you have a lot of time with the creature, which I felt was actually pretty decent. But the third act, I just felt like things were moving extremely fast, where you have this big payoff, you have this big moment leading up to this thing that we all want to see. But then when you get there, it seems like you're jumping from point A to point C. And you just really felt, even if I'm not reading the book, I just felt like there was stuff that they could have shown to really make this flow a lot better. Where you have the motivations of Victor Frankenstein at that point in the movie. You have the motivations of the creature in that movie. And you want to see how that plays out. And you see how it plays out, but there's just something missing there. I just felt like there was a point right there where they could have added a little bit more to smooth out the transition to give us that final confrontation. So is this the best adaptation of the Frankenstein story? I think for a lot of people, this is going to be exactly what they wanted. For myself, I think it's a fantastic, one-for-one adaptation of the book. Now, there are a lot of changes in this. So when I say one-to-one, I say the general story from point A to point, the end of the movie. There are a lot of changes. So if you read the book, haven't watched the movie, expect a lot of different changes. Whether that's good or bad, that's going to depend on you. And for me, I thought it was okay. I think that certain things worked a little bit better than others. I wish you would have kept some stuff, cut out some stuff, but it doesn't matter. The thing that you need to remember is that this is a very good movie as a whole. Guillermo del Toro is a very good director. He's a very competent director. He understands what he's doing. And when you're watching Frankenstein, you can really feel the love that he has for this source material just in every scene. He loves this thing. And every actor in this movie just brought their A game. They understood the assignment. They went all in on this. And as a final product, you really felt the love and the quality that went into this. But yeah, let me know what you thought about Frankenstein down in the comments. I'll be reading and responding to as many as I can. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you check out this video right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.